Let's go back in time to April of this year. You've been stuck inside for a solid month, and you're finally starting to get a hang of your Zoom classes. You sit down at the kitchen table, and you see your parents' copy of Consumer Reports laying there. And on the cover, it says, "How to Eat Less Plastic." And you think to yourself, what the fuck, I'm eating plastic? At least that's what I thought when I saw it. Hello, my name is Emma Lawrence, and I'm here today to inform you a little about the problem of plastic pollution and how you can be a part of the solution. As a biology major, this subject is one that I've come across in my studies, and it's one that is close to my heart. I know that not everybody is as fascinated with biology as me, so you might not know why plastic is a problem, but it is important to understand that it is becoming an increasingly alarming global issue. So what is plastic? Why is it bad? And what can we do about it? First, I need to talk a little bit about the structure of plastic and why it is good and why it is bad. Plastic is durable. That's why it's good for business and bad for the environment. According to West Valley's own Dr. Blaine Harrison's Chem 12A organic chemistry lecture, plastic is a series of long chains of carbons that lay in sheets. And when exposed to UV radiations, there are links created between those sheets, which cause them to become rigid and brittle, prone to breaking. But that doesn't mean that the plastic degrades or breaks down into components that nature can reuse. No, instead, it just breaks down into smaller and smaller pieces of plastic. Some so small that we can't even see them with the naked eye. We call these microplastics. Now, you might be more familiar with the bigger pieces of plastic or macroplastics from the years-long media coverage of the poor sea creatures growing into soda rings and suffocating or eating plastic bags. But microplastics are a much more insidious problem. They are a problem because they affect every part of our lives and we don't even think about it. It's not just that businesses use them in beauty products and our clothes are increasingly being made out of plastic, and when we wash them, microplastics enter our water. It's that we keep making more and more plastic. According to the EPA's website, in 2018, the US created 14.5 million tons of plastic. That is not 29 billion pounds, or about 72,000 blue whales worth of plastic in 2018 alone. And most of that plastic gets thrown into the landfill where it's beaten down by the UV radiation from the sun and breaks down over time. And then those pieces get washed into our rivers, so they're in our water. Then those pieces make their way to the ocean and they get eaten by the smaller animals there in the food chain, and then so it enters the food chain and it stays there and works its way up. So it's in our food. And if it's in our food and our water, it's in us. The article that I mentioned before, Consumer Reports How to Eat Less Plastic, states that the average person may be eating and drinking totals as much as 5 grams per week. That is a credit card's worth of plastic each week. And the scary part is that some of the pieces are so small that they can enter our systems and stay there. So what is it doing to us? While there is little scientific evidence that microplastics in small concentrations adversely affect humans, there was a study in April, published in April of 2019 in the Journal of Science of the Total Environment that found evidence that in higher concentrations, our immune systems start to react, like when we get sick. So, I know what you're thinking. What can I do? I'm just one person. Ultimately, stop using plastic as much as possible. Now, I don't expect you to stop using plastic entirely. It's everywhere. But one thing that we can do is recycle. It really doesn't take that much more time and effort to make sure that the plastic that we can recycle is clean enough to be accepted at recycling centers and gets thrown into the recycling bin. Another thing that we can do is stop using single-use plastics, or the plastics that we cannot recycle. So stop using those plastic water bottles, get a reusable one. Don't use plastic utensils. And I know, even though they're kind of gross, keep using those paper straws instead of the plastic ones if you have to use one. But the most potent weapon that we have in our arsenal as individuals is where we spend our money. IBS World, a corporation dedicated to tracking business statistics, said that the US business sector was predicted to spend $19.8 billion on market research in 2020. So if more and more people were to buy products that are eco-friendly and take the environment into account during production and when we throw them away, the businesses will sit up and listen. So while these are only a few solutions to this global problem, I know that you will take them to heart. We all need to do our part. Because I don't really want to continue to eat plastic, and I don't want anyone else to either. But so plastic isn't going away. We really, really need to recycle and stop using single-use plastics. But if there is one thing that I want you to take away from what I've said here today, it's that I want you to put your money where your mouth is. And the next time you're at the store or you're shopping on Amazon, take a minute to think about the product that you're buying and how it's affecting the environment, so you too can be a part of the solution. Thank you for listening.